So I'm working on this right now, and the socket location is 200 mil. Because we're in a fab shop, we always get the same socket locations, 200 mil, 100 mil, 150 mil. So I've made something like this. It's just a square, essentially, a flange square, DIY flange square, and on it I have socket locations. I give an example: 100, 150, 200, and going on, and you can see the marks, which allows me to put it on here and mark 200 mil for the socket. Nice and simple, easy as that. Say I need to do a 250 mil, 300 mil, 350, wherever it needs to go. One time across. There we go. So this is one of the little life hacks that I have. This piece of pipe needs to be held sturdy, and a lot of people tack. Someone done this in my bay, they tack a bar across onto the pipe. I don't like that. It destroys your rollers after a while, and it's nasty because you'll do a tack here this time and then a tack there, here, and before you know it, every single corner is crusty. So I've come up with this kind of invention. So just two pieces of anything that slide nicely together without play. So in this case here, that's half a nipple and a bolt, and it's just obviously it's tacked onto this bar going across onto the pipe. Now again, if you're able to tack on the pipes. If not, this method may not be for you. But this way here, when I'm putting on this flange level to that elbow over there, the pipe's solid, minus the rocking back and forward, but it's not going to twist, and I know the bolt holes are good to that level over there. This is one good method, and there's two ways you can remove the pipe. One, you can grab it like this, pick it up and twist it off. Or the other way, you just hit it with a hammer. There we go, hit with a hammer. Now this piece here can get slid off, just like that. This is a little bit of a hack and a tip at the same time. So I'm working on this. This here is a 400 mil, 16 inch pipe. We call it a hockey stick. Now, I have hung this flange because it allows me to use just these two counterweights to counterweight the whole pipe. Now, instead of hanging a flange right here, what I'm gonna do is leave it. Roll these pieces nice and comfortably, nice and safe, and then put the flange on at the end. There's the root, anyone wanna see? And the cap quickly. Yeah, so it allows me to safely rotate this whole pipe with all of this weight on it. Then I can put this flange on after, turn it up at 45, weld the inside, or turn it down and weld the downhand flange. Or turn it down, weld the downhand flange, take it off the rollers, put it on the floor, use the crane to pick this side up, and then weld the inside. Essentially, it makes it a lot safer to roll. You don't need to. So if I was to put this flange on there, essentially I would need that equivalent weight of. Essentially, I would need that equivalent of weight on this flange, the same distance out from up here. So instead of using just these two to counterweight the elbow, I'd probably need another 4 of this amount of weight on the back of this. And now it goes from a silly amount of weight being spun to an even sillier amount of weight being spun. These are the rollers. I trust them only to so much. They're fine for the weight, but what I don't like, you can see how tucked in the wheels are. They ain't good for the lateral forces. It will fall off. So yeah, that's just a safety tip. Another simple tip, hack, whatever you'd call it, is something like this. A little simple device with bearing wheels on it. And then I use this for obviously cleaning the ends. Say I've got to cut a branch and I'm using an angle grinder. I can use the angle grinder here and then cut the branch to the correct shape while it's spinning here. Pretty easy, convenient. You can weld on it if you have to, but when you have to put the earth on this because you can't really earth through here, so the earth cable can get in the way, and then at that point there you may as well use your rollers or your captain's wheel. But yeah, this is a good, decent little piece of equipment. Say hi, much. Decent little bit of equipment for that reason there. So here's another tip, and it is this. Something as simple as this. Nothing special. Look, I even made it temporary. But you know what they say about temporary? Nothing's more permanent than temporary. This bad boy goes there for the vise, which allows me to then stick things in the vise like this. Oh, my vise is broken. My vise is broken. There we go. But yes. That. Just a spacer. Picks it up, puts it nicely in the jaws of the vise. If you never had that, on a chain as well, so it's always there, you could put it down here. Some pipes it works okay like that, but now if you ever need to use a V-stand and adjust the height of it, it gets locked in, so you physically can't adjust the height of it anymore. And obviously you know the struggles of holding it up in the air to clamp it. So I give you a simple tool. This is a hack I think everyone needs to use. So it's just a file, preferably the semicircle ones, and what you use it for is to chip out stuff on the inside. So right there you can see the branches that I made. It is super hard. It is super hard. You have to deburr the inside of all your pipes. So if you look at that, there we go. Because what about top? Because it's a hardened material, it fights and it's really good at deburring. If you was to use the other end, for example, it bounces on top. It bounces on top, and this is a softer material, and the edges get rounded off, and it's useless. This edge here will stay sharp for the longest period of time, and can always chip off any bits of spatter that you get. And in my case, I use it to deburr the inside of any time I use the oxyacetylene. So this here is a little hack that I've come up with when it comes to cable management. Nothing special, but it's the way how it's implemented. So you need to keep your cables separate. You need your bay tidy, you know. You need tidy work area. Do not store stuff on the floor like tools or anything. Don't have all your cables twisted together. The floor is not a shelf, and bad cable management is nonsense. Sort it out. I've got an empty wire wheel or anything. You can weld 2 bolts, but essentially you have one extension lead plugged into the transformer, tucked all the way around the back of your bay, terminates here. Now you have a second extension lead that connects to your device. So the first one stays behind the back of the bay and is wrapped up there. The second one's attached to it. And anytime the extension lead is damaged on the floor, you only have to replace the half that's attached to here without rerouting it all the way around the back of your bay. But this guy here, this is all you need. Wrapping it all the way around, locking it in place here. Your grinder, you have as much cable as you need to get. Look, I'm in the corner of my bay now. That's as much cable as I need. And it's just much nicer cable management. Much nicer cable management. I haven't been in this bay for a couple of months and other people's done nonsense. So you can see what someone else was using, where it was just plugged straight into here stretched across all the way over to here. I don't like that, and they've ordered new cables, so once they come, I'm going to put it in. So on the second one, I'd have it wrapped all the way around the back of the bay, terminates here. I'd have another reel on it, so I'd connect it to it and then add another extension lead. So anytime there's damage, so right, this here, in this place here, this will foul. So I need to replace this extension lead now with a brand new one, because you know you get in trouble otherwise. And instead of having to reroute it all the way around the back of the bay, there would be one that's already been rerouted, and I'll just change the extension lead on this half here, so I don't have to worry about that.